Capricorn. I want to welcome you to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol, and we're going to be doing your mid-month check-in today, June 2024. So what I thought I'd do is I want to start off with looking for a particular pattern in your life that is showing up for you right now for healing. And normally when I begin my readings, I always like to look at maybe a situation, an issue, something that you're sitting with, a decision you have to make, and sometimes a pattern will show up. But I really am going to focus specifically on a pattern this month, and because I think it's important that we start to really bring some awareness to what patterns are showing up, what things are repeating, what people keep showing up in our space, you know. And we often ask, why are these things happening to me again? Whether it's an emotion showing up, whether it's, you know, anything to do with your financial situation, whether it's something happening to you at work, and it's the same kind of stuff that shows up over and over again. And we tend to think, you know, well, we deny it. We tend to make excuses about what it is. But, you know, what we need to realize is what we're going to be doing in part 2 of this reading is we need to realize that these patterns, first of all, are showing up for a reason. And the reason is because there's something that's sitting in your shadow that's unhealed. And, you know, I think what people don't realize is that 95% of all our thinking that drives our behaviors, that drives our decisions, that drives, you know, all our relationship problems, that drives our patterns, comes from the unconscious, comes from our shadow. And if you don't believe me, Google it. Google 95% unconscious, and you'll get to what I'm talking about right now. The other 5% of our thinking is what we know, what we think we know. And so, you know, what we need, what's sitting in our shadow is what we have to heal. And so that we can heal this pattern, we can stop it from happening. And so, So I'm going to do some shadow work in this reading. And if you're not familiar with those two terms, shadow or shadow work, I've left a video in the description box below. And it's called My Powerful 4-Step Guide to Shadow Work. And it's all about facing your own shadow. And it's taken from my other YouTube channel called Carol Cares, where I have a lot of information about your mental health and your healing journey. And so I think that, you know, even if you know something about shadow or shadow work, I think it would be valuable to take a peek at that that video, because it's really a compilation of what I've done in my own intensive healing journey for the last 7 years of looking at my shadow and healing all the parts of it that are spilling over into my personal life, my daily life. So we're going to start off with, and then part 3, I forgot, I'm going to ask for some advice from the tarot and as to how you can start healing this. And then I'm also going to offer you at the end a couple more videos, probably that will help you in particular with what you're dealing with in this reading. And then I'll also link the June 2024 reading that I did for you at the beginning of the month. So we're going to be using the Tarot of the Abyss to start off with, and then I'm going to clarify it with the Rider-Waite. So let's get started right away by looking at what pattern is showing up in Capricorn's life. So if I can have one card, please, and that came out rather quickly, and we have the Knight of Pentacles is what's showing up for you as the pattern. And what aspect from Capricorn shadow is really driving this pattern right here? Can you give me one card for that, please? We wanted 3. So we have the King of Wands, the Magician, and then a surprise card is the 3 of Pentacles right behind it. 3 cards right behind it. I love this deck. It's my favorite, black and white. Well, it's the only one I have, black and white. But it just calls my name. I just love the Tarot of the Abyss. I love the drawings on it. Can I have some advice from the Tarot, please? One card. How can Capricorn start to heal this? You have the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords. Okay. And then we're going to get into, we're going to clarify it with the Rider-Waite here. So, let's do a quick shuffle. And we're going to start off with clarification of this Knight of Pentacles, please. Tell me some more about this Knight over here. A couple cards just to clarify this Knight of Pentacles. I thought that one wanted to come out. It was one more, please. Okay, so we have the Hermit card was the first one, and then we have the Ten of Swords here. Can I have some clarification for the King of Wands, the Magician, and the Three of Pentacles? It's three beautiful cards here. Clarification, please. Tell me some more about this. It's like they want to come out and I pinch them back in and then I end up... There we go. But they get out. When they want out, they come out. The Devil in reverse wanted out. And the Knight of Pentacles again. All right, so that tells me a bit about what's going on here. The Ace of Swords in reverse. Can you tell me about this, please? A couple cards. This Ace of Swords. We got one card here. And one card there. That's what I'm going to go with right now. Okay. Oh, we got two cards. All right. We have the Emperor. The Two of Pentacles. And the the Four of Swords. All right. So I do want to say one thing too before I begin. I have two more readings left, Capricorn and Sagittarius. They're coming out late. I did both your readings, and you know, I said to myself, this is not going to happen again, but it's happened again. Here's a pattern. But I put my camera on, somehow it was on slow-mo. So, you know, when I upload these videos and I put them on my editor and I have no sound and all I can see is blah, blah, and I just go, ugh. So here I am doing them today, and so I apologize. But it's really interesting because I'm seeing a lot of these cards that have come out in, you know, I don't know if it was your reading or if it was, I didn't get to Sagittarius. Yes, I did get to Sagittarius, sorry. So I'm not sure, but it's just, okay, these are familiar cards. So that makes me think that, you know, maybe the last readings I did were right on, but here we are. Sometimes I feel like, you know, it's a universal thing that just kind of says, for some reason, those cards weren't meant to be, that reading wasn't meant to be, so this is your reading. The Knight of Pentacles is the first card for you. This is the pattern that you're involved in right now that's showing up for you. And let's look at this card in an upright position. The Knights in my deck, first of all, they are what I call my freedom fighters. We all have a part of us, just think about this, that wants freedom. That wants freedom to be our authentic self. And so whenever I see a knight come up, that's like, oh, this is a call for freedom here. I want freedom to be me. Depending on what the suit is. You know, here is the pentacle here. This is the freedom to, you know, get back in your body, because Pentacles is about grounding, getting back in our body. The pentacle is the body, has everything to do with the body. And, you know, this could be you want freedom from something going on in your workspace, because the pentacle is about your workspace. It's all about freedom from, maybe there's something going on with your health. Something to do, anything to do with, you know, it could be depression, it could be anxiety, it could be a health issue you're dealing with, and you're fed up, you're tired of it. You want freedom from that. So workspace, your health, You're grounding, getting back into your body. It also has a lot to do with your self-worth and how you feel about yourself. So maybe you're wanting freedom with that kind, where it's like, I wish I felt better about myself. I wish I loved myself. I hate the situation I'm sitting in. So it's just this freedom of, it could be also financial situation where you wish that you had more freedom with, finances, where you could do things, but you just always have that excuse of, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. No, I can't do that. Freedom to go see a therapist. Well, I don't have the money. I can't do that. Those kind of things. It's just this freedom in all those situations that I said to you. It's in reverse here. I consider my knights to be like a younger adolescent part of us. If you think of an adolescent where they're wanting this freedom to be themselves, to do what they want to do, and when they can't, think of the anger that shows up. Think of if they can't get angry for some reason because they weren't allowed to, well, they're going to feel hopeless. And so because this is in reverse, I'm wondering, Capricorn, if you're feeling a little bit of anger, and sometimes it can be some ungrounded anger here because this is an ungrounded card. It's in reverse. You could be sitting in hopelessness, and maybe you're sitting in some depression, and maybe you're just tired. You're just fed up with it, and you want freedom from that. And, our depression can be something that comes in and goes out and comes in and goes out. That's a pattern. So I'm seeing here, so that's the pattern here. And you have the Hermit card come for some clarification here. And so the Hermit card speaks about, there's some real introspection I'm seeing that's going on here. I can see here that maybe this pattern of, and I'm thinking it might be related to unworthiness or hopelessness because of the Ten of Swords that's showing up here. And so when this shows up for you, when this feeling of, whatever it is for you, when you're feeling hopelessness around your workspace or your financial situation or just hopelessness in general or unworthiness, these kind of feelings that are showing up for you, this is when you tend to do some going inwards and you start to look at, well, what the hell's going on with my life? Why am I feeling like this? Why does this keep showing up? And so this is where you are right now. You're going inwards and you're trying to, I hope you're getting still and I hope you're getting quiet and trying to get in touch with these emotions again. Because you have the Ten of Swords here that shows up. And so I can see here that this end of this month, June, where you're just like, I'm at the end of my rope. I'm fed up. I'm done. I can't tell you how many times I've said those words to my own life coach. I'm fed up. I'm done. I'm feeling like I can't go on anymore. And look at these swords in the back of this individual, right? So what are swords? What are these swords? Well, swords represent our mental body. They're our mental energy. And they're all the mental thoughts that we tell ourselves. These are all the thoughts that you were told when you were younger. You're a piece of crap. You're not worthy of this. You don't deserve this. You're not good enough. These are all the things that we have been told when we were younger, that people told us around us, parents, caretakers, adults, maybe other kids in the schoolyard, told us these things as a teenager, as a young child. And these are the things you continue to tell yourself because, well, you believed them. We were very young, so you believed them and you continue to believe them. And so these are coming up for you and you're hearing them again. You're hearing all these thoughts about yourself, and that's what's making you feel, here we go again. I feel unworthy again. I feel hopeless. I feel like, why continue on? Why go on? Right? That's the pattern that's showing up for you. You've seen this before. You've been here before. So where is this coming from? And it's going to be sitting in your shadow because we have to get to the original source in order to clear up this pattern that's showing up. So, well, first of all, we start off with, and we have 3 cards up here in the top row. King of Swords, the Magician, and the 3 of Pentacles. So let's talk about the King of Swords here. The King in my deck, the Knight, represents, like an adolescent part, like I said, a freedom fighter wants, a part of us that wants freedom. This part of us is the masculine part of us. We all have a masculine part of us. We all have a feminine part. Doesn't matter what gender you are, we have a masculine part of us. And that masculine part of us is our ego self. And it's pretty much the one that drives all of our thinking, right? But the feminine side, which are my queens, the feminine energy, right? Making a comeback for sure in today's society where she has these beautiful qualities. This ego self here is very much block. Will tell you when you go inwards, like you are over here right now, and you're starting to, get in touch with a lot of these emotions. This ego self will really try to prevent you from doing it. The ego self is a very scared part of us. It doesn't like to get in touch with emotions. It hates emotions. It's petrified of them. So it'll have that, if you remember Will Robinson, if you're around my age, on Lost in Space, where it goes, danger, danger, danger. This is the ego self. It doesn't want you to touch these emotions. But it doesn't want you to go inwards. Because guess what's inwards? Is the Magician. It blocks the Magician. The Magician is the part of us that, it's our inner guidance, it's our inner knowing. It's a very connected part. If you look at this page, this card, I love it because it's very much connected to the ground. It's very grounded, and it's very, it's grounded not just in the earth here, but it's grounded with the divine creator self. And it's the one that's going to help us bring in our answers. It's our inner guidance here, right? I remember when I first started this journey, and my own life coach told me that, Carol, you have all your answers. You have them in you. And I hated hearing that. Hated it. Because I wanted people to tell me what to do. I was so used to being controlled as a child. And throughout all my life that I wanted people to tell me what to do. I didn't know how to think for myself. And so you have all the answers in you. The reason why you have this pattern going on here, you have the answer to it. It's in you. Your ego self doesn't want you to find out, doesn't want you to go there. This Magician's saying, you have all the answers. 3 of Pentacles is here. And the 3 of Pentacles in an upright position. Look at this. I love this portrayal of the 3 of Pentacles. These people are grabbing onto a rope. When I started my own intensive healing journey, I had to grab onto a rope. I needed someone that could help me. I knew I needed help. And that's exactly what got me back into therapy, was I needed help, and I knew it, and I wanted it, and I went searching for it. Didn't find it at first, but I finally did. I found the right therapist. And this is what this card is to me. It's a reaching out for help card. It's a reaching out for help card. And it's in reverse here. It's in your shadow. So what I see here is you needed help when you were younger. But there was nobody that you could hang on to. There was nobody that you could reach out for support. And I think what this Magician card says was that you learned at a very young age to deal with things yourself. You learned at a young age that you learned that, you know what? When things weren't going right in your life, when there was a lot of chaos in your life, when you needed help, you knew there was nobody there. And so you went inwards. And this is like this Hermit card over here. You went inwards. And you kind of relied on yourself. And a lot of times when we go inwards and we just learn to rely on ourselves, sometimes we can blame ourselves. We can kind of say, well, my outer world isn't safe for me and it's not going well for me, and I don't have anybody to rely on. And so there must be something wrong with me, because it was easier to do that. It was easier to blame ourselves because we couldn't blame other people around us, because if we blamed other people around us, then where would that leave us? Completely and utterly alone. And so I'm seeing here that, yes, you were as a young child, you didn't have anybody to reach out to. And the Devil card is here. And it's quite interesting here, because the Devil card, when it comes out, it's coming out in your shadow. And, you know, the Devil card in an upright position speaks to us about attachments, things that we get attached to, you know, people we get attached to, or addictions we get attached to. And that is in reverse. And so I'm seeing here that you might have, this is where you would have picked up some of your addictions that you currently have. For example, I am addicted, my main addiction that I have and I still struggle with is my overeating. I think we all kind of have a main one, and then we can have other ones. But I think that's where you picked up to cope with some of these issues that, you know, that were very powerful for you. These things that happened when you were younger, and that's where you picked up some of your addictions to cope with it. And here's the Knight of Pentacles right here. This is it comes out again right here. This is the part of you that wanted to be free, that wanted to be authentic. And it's almost like you knew you didn't have the freedom, and you couldn't be free, and you weren't able to do what you wanted to do. And so it was blocked by, you blocked it by these attachments to numb it, to help yourself, because you weren't free. You were quite trapped in your situation. And sometimes our addictions when we were younger, that's what helped us get through some of our stuff. And so I'm seeing here that you need to get to this trapped feeling that you felt when you were younger. What was it that made you so trapped? Because you're wanting here this freedom from whatever you've determined it is in your life right now. And I named a lot of things at the beginning. You want freedom now from it. But it's like you feel trapped every time. But you got to go back to the original place where you felt trapped when you were younger, because it's coming up every time. And so if it's the workspace, if it's something in your workplace that's making you feel trapped every time, well, what was it when you were younger? What happened? That's how it works. If it's something financial, go back to what was it that trapped you when you were younger. And that is going to help you get out of the situation that you're in. You have to go back to the original entrapment. And, you know, sometimes you'll understand that through your addiction. And, you know, when did you pick up that habit sometimes, and why did you pick that up? Sometimes I can give us some clues. But I know here that, you know, there was some, your freedom was blocked when you were younger. So how can you start to heal this, Capricorn? What advice does the tarot have for you right now? We have the Ace of Swords right here. It's in reverse. So it is in reverse, because, you know, you're in a position here where you haven't accepted it, because this is how you're going to start healing. In an upright position, an ace is always a gift, an offering from the universe. And it's a sword. It's a sword of authenticity. It's a sword of finding out who you really are, right? Who you really are, because you didn't get a chance to find out who you really were if you were trapped, you know, in this situation. Who are you? What is your truth? Who is your authentic self? It's because you have these belief systems right here about yourself. These belief systems of unworthiness for some reason. Well, here's a new sword here. We're going to start to, turn this around and find out who you really are, because it's in reverse here. And it's very fascinating because I'm getting here a little bit of information, more information here. The Emperor card comes out. The Emperor card is this individual. He's number 4 in the major arcana. So it's like a universal force here. It's a big force on all of us. And number 4 is a real stable, a real rigid number, square, right? Look at his chair. It's very square, made of cement. It's solid. You can't move it. It's stuck there. It's been there for a long time. He's almost becoming part of his chair, and he knows it. He knows that, he doesn't have to move. Because what has he done? Well, if you look at, there's this city behind him here. He's made these rules. The Emperor rules. He represents societal rules that have been put in place. And we have these rules in society that people follow. I follow, you follow. Sure, there are some rules here that, we need to follow. Like, there's a stop sign, you stop for the safety of other people. But there are these imaginary rules out there that people make that are kind of like the norms of society that we kind of wonder, well, who made that damn rule? But we're following it. But we follow it. And it's kind of what we continue to follow. And so what the tarot wants you to start to do is start to question some of these rules that you follow for yourself. And, when you hear these certain belief systems that you have in your head, like, you can't do that, you're not allowed to do that, you shouldn't do that. According to who? According to the Emperor that made those rules? Whose rules are those? Are those really your rules? Like, is this what you believe? And that's what the universe wants you to start to question here. And because, there's a real decision here for you to make. There's lots out there. This card is about, decision making, and there's a lot here. We can really keep ourselves busy with all this multitasking going on, and maybe, and I think this card is in reverse, and it kind of says, I think there's a lot of multitasking in your life that is keeping you busy and ungrounded. It's not really, you need to go inwards. You need to really get still and to start to find out, what are some of these belief systems that you have about yourself, and why do you believe them? This individual here is very unbalanced, and look at the water in the background here. The water in the background represents our emotions. They're up and they're down, and they're up and they're down. Well, that's what happens when you're ungrounded. Your emotions are all over the place, and you really become unbalanced as a juggler, right? And so the universe wants you to really, look at your life, question your belief systems, look at your life and think, where am I too busy in my life, where I'm, keeping myself away from me and doing some of this inner work that I'm supposed to be doing here. And the last card is the 4 of Swords. This is in reverse. And this is an individual that's taking some time out to get still. And I see that there's a real resistance on your part to get still. And because, we talked about how we keep ourselves busy. And because what would happen if we got still? We'd start to feel. And, a lot of people use distractions to keep themselves busy, so that I do it, so that I don't feel what I have to feel. I put things on my calendar, right? So the universe wants to really, want you to take some time and get still. Want you to take some time to question some of these things that you believe about yourself. I'm going to leave you with, before I'm going to pick an oracle card for you, a spirit animal card here. And I want to leave you with your June 2024 reading, Capricorn. And I also want to leave you with some videos on grounding. I put 2 really good videos out on my other channel, Carol Cares. And they're really helpful. I take you in my backyard and I show you exactly how I ground. Like when I really need to get grounded and into my body, you know, for example, today I had to do it in the morning. Not, you know, honestly, I knew I was very much ungrounded. And I literally went outside in my bare feet. And if I'm really ungrounded and I can feel it, if I'm working on something, I will go out and hug a tree in my bare feet, because that's what really just kind of brings me right down. And so that's what the universe wants you to do. Learn how to ground into your body, because I have, you know, there's some pentacles going on here with the Knight of Pentacles. And so let's pull a card for you, Capricorn. This has been a very good reading for you. Interesting. We got quite deep, I think, in something here going on, and a lot for you to think about. You know, you got to be careful with your King of Wands, your ego self coming out and going, you know, this is all a bunch of bullshit that she's saying, and it's okay. I can take it. Okay, let's get a card for you. I got a comment the other day from someone that wrote me and basically told me that, you know, spewing out a bunch of bullshit. No, that's okay. I get it. The egos will come out and tell me that. Okay, we need a card that flipped up for you. 2 cards. So you got the set healthy boundaries card. Maybe that's something you need to look at. And embrace the in-between. The in-between is sometimes when you're sitting in this state and you don't see a way out. And sometimes we're sitting in it for a while until we can start to see, you know. It's hard to embrace sometimes, we really are, but maybe that's where we need to be, right? Maybe that's where we need to be. But we need to get still. And so I hope that you look at some of the grounding videos that I leave you. Capricorn, I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. I know that this is not a easy journey. If you've made it this far in my video, you are on the healing journey. And because a lot of people will click off because this is not an easy journey. So talk to you soon. See you next month, Capricorn. Bye.